holler,
holler,
holler, holler, holler.
holler, holler, holler.
Patriot, the person who can holler the loudest without knowing what he is hollering about.
Patriot, the person who can holler the lowest without knowing what he was hollering about. Patriot, the person who can holler the loudest without knowing what he is holler about.
Her parents will holler at her if they find out that she skipped class.
Her parents will holler at her if they find out that she skipped class.
Her parents will holler at her if they find out that she skipped class.
Her parents will holler at her if they find out that she skipped class.
Race, race, race.
Race, race, race.
Slow but steady wins the race.
Slow but steady win the race. Slow but steady win the race. Slow but steady win the race.
The winner of the race will get a gold medal.
The winner of the race will get a gold medal. The winner of the race will get a gold medal. The winner of the race will get a gold medal.
If we cannot argue that all barbarism is a degraded civilization, neither can we set any limits to the depth of degradation to which the human race may sink through war, disease, or isolation.
If we cannot argue that all barbarism is the degraded civilization, neither can we set any limit to the depth of the degradation to which the human race may sink through the war, disease, or isolation.
Spell,
Spell,
spell, spell, spell.
spell, spell, spell.
I can't spell or do grammar, but I'm smarter and more serious than people think.
I can't spell or do grammar, but I'm smarter and more serious than people think. I can't spell or do grammar, but I'm smarter and more serious than people think.
The word was very difficult to spell correctly.
The word was very difficult to spell correctly. The word was very difficult to spell correctly.
She could not spell particularly well, but she found that she could print letters when she tried.
She could not spell particularly well, but she found that she could print a letter when she tried.
Regular,
Regular,
regular, regular, regular.
regular, regular, regular.
We must overcome the notion that we must be regular. It robs you of the chance to be extraordinary and leads you to the mediocre.
We must overcome the notion that we must be regular. It robs you of the chance to be extraordinary and lead you to the diversity.
What seemed like a regular day at first suddenly turned into the best day of my life.
What seemed like a regular day at the birth suddenly turned into best day of my life. What seemed like a regular day at the birth suddenly turned into the best day of my life. What seemed like a regular day at the birth suddenly turned into the best day of my life.
At suitable intervals there were regular salutes of laughter.
The suitable interval there were regular suit of the laughter.
At suitable intervals there were regular salutes of laughter.
The suitable interval there were regular suit of the laughter.
Seed,
Seed,
seed, seed, seed.
seed, seed, seed.
Think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another.
Think twice before you speak, Because your word and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in mind of the another.
I planted the avocado seed in my garden.
I plant I plant the avocado seed in my garden. I plant the avocado seed in my garden. I plant the avocado seed in my garden.
Youth is the seed time of good habits.
Youth is the seed time of good habit. Youth is the seed time of a good habit.
Taste, 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 taste.
Taste, taste, taste.
One cannot develop taste from what is of average quality but only from the very best.
One cannot develop taste from what kind of the average quality, but only from the very best.
The taste of the dish was unexplainable, but I enjoyed it.
The taste of the dish was unexplainable, but I enjoyed it.
Now she heard of painkiller for the first time. She ordered a lot at once. She tasted it and was filled with gratitude. It was simply fire in a liquid form.
Now she heard of the painkiller for the first time. She ordered a lot at once. He tasted it and was filled with gratitude. It was simply fire in the liquid form.
Garage,
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 garage, garage.
garage, garage, garage.
I was the worst hitter ever. I never even broke a bat until last year when I was backing out of the garage.
I was the hitter ever. I never ever broken bat until last year when I was backing out of the garage. I was the hitter ever. I never even broken a bat until last year when I was backing out of the garage.
She parked the car in the garage.
She parked the car in the garage,
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 garage, garage, garage.
garage, garage, garage.
She parked the car in the garage.
She parked the car in the garage.
Quarter,
Quarter,
quarter, quarter, quarter.
quarter, quarter, quarter.
Economic systems rise and fall just like empires. That's the kind of perspective we need to take if we hope to prosper for centuries rather than for the next quarter.
Economic system rise and fall just like empire. That's kind of the perspective we need to take if we hope to prosper for century rather than for the next quarter.
We were only a quarter of the way to our destination and still had a long way to go.
We were only a quarter of the way to our destination and still had a long way to go. We were only a quarter of the way to our destination and still had a long way to go.
After lying there about 3/4 of an hour, I nerved myself up again, and started on my way, through bogs and briars, barefooted and bareheaded.
After lying there about 3/4 of the hour, I never myself again, and started on my way, thought bog and briar, barefoot and barehead.
Scientist, scientist, scientist.
Scientist, scientist, scientist.
The scientist is not a person who gives the right answers, he is one who asks the right questions.
The scientist is not person who gives the right answer. He is one who asks the right question. The scientist is not person who gives the right answer. He is one he asks the right question.
The scientists discovered a new plant species on the island.
The scientists discovered a new plant species on the island. The scientists discovered a new plant species on the island.
Remarkable behavior of an eminent scientist, I heard the editor say, thinking after his wont, in headlines.
Remarkable behavior of the eminent scientist, I heard the editor say, think after his wont in headline.
Test. 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 Test.
Task.
What we have to do is to be forever curiously testing new opinions and courting new impressions.
What we have to do is to be forever curiously testing new opinions and courting new impressions.
Studying for the test all weekend was very stressful.
Studying for the test all weekend was very stressful. Studying for the test all weekend was very stressful.
And what if I don't confess? Could you not help me then? Asked Kay to test her out.
And what if I don't confess? Could you not help me then? Asked Kay to test her out.
Heal. Heal. Heal.
Here.
It's the best time ever to be a doctor because you can heal and treat conditions that were untreatable even a few years ago.
It's the best time ever to be a doctor because you can heal and treat conditions that were untreatable even a few years ago.
The doctor told me that my broken leg will eventually heal.
The doctor told me that my broken leg will eventually heal. The doctor told me that my broken leg will eventually heal. The doctor told me that my broken leg will eventually heal.
I looked at her throat just now as she lay asleep, and the tiny wounds seem not to have healed. Unless they heal within a day or two, I shall insist on the doctor seeing about them.
I looked at her throat just now as she lay asleep, and the tiny wounds seemed not to have healed. Unless they heal within a day or two, I shall insist on doctor seeing about them.
Survive.
Survive.
Survive. Survive. Survive.
Survive.
Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind.
Notice that the stiff tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or lily survive by bending with the wind. Notice that the stiff tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or lily survive by bending with the wind.
I didn't think that our friendship would survive after our big argument.
I didn't think that our friendship would survive after our big argument. I didn't think that our friendship would survive after our big argument. I think that our friendship would survive after our big argument.
How did I ever bear it? How did I survive and surmount such wounds? How did my soul rise again out of those sepulchres?
How did you ever bear? How did you survive and surmount such wood? How did your soul rise again out of the digit quarrel?
Jerk. 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 Jerk.
jerk. 확 움직이다. 확 움직이. 격렬.
You're either humble or you're not. If you were a jerk before the fame, you just become a jerk with a bigger spotlight. Whoever you are really comes through.
You are either humble or you are not. If you were Jack before the fame, you just become Jack with a bigger spotlight. Whoever you are really comes through.
Don't jerk the wheel away from me as I'm driving.
Don't jerk the wheel away from me as I'm driving. Don't jerk the wheel away from me as I'm driving.
He entered briskly, with a jerk at every step and his head slightly thrown back.
He entered briskly, with a jerk at every step and his head slightly through them. He entered briskly, with a jerk at every step and he had slightly drew back.
Difference.
Different.
Difference. Difference. Difference.
Different.
Each one of us can make a difference. Together we make change.
Each one of us can make a difference. Together we make a change. If one of us can make a difference, together we make a change.
They know the difference between right and wrong.
They know the difference between right and wrong. They know the difference between right and wrong.
It makes no difference to me.
It makes no difference to me. It makes no difference to me.
Pant.
Pant.
Pant. Pant. Pant.
Pant.
I love to pair a silk or lace blouse with a fitted black pant.
I love to pair of the silk or lace blouse with a pit black pant.
The dogs panted after running around in the park.
The dog pant after running around the park. The dogs pant after running around in the park. The dogs pant after running around in the park.
From my place of ambush, I could hear him pant aloud as he struck the blows.
From my place of ambush, I could hear him pant around as he struck the blow. From my place of the ambush, I could hear his pant around as he struck the blow.